Hey there. My name is Natalie Rose Martin, and I support awakening ones such as yourself to land your gifts and deliver your mission. A big part of this journey is a process of embodiment. And I admit, I have a bias towards embodiment. It's a big part of my medicine. And I notice the more embodied people become, the more able we are to stand in our power and be effective in the world in alignment. The process of embodiment could also be called healing. The root of the word healing means to become whole. And that's really how I define healing. So, this is a process of integration. When we are able to integrate all aspects of ourselves, our essence shines through and we become a blessing to the world in whatever we do. I've been practicing integrative energy work for over a decade and I teach from experience. Please receive what serves you and leave the rest. With that, let's jump right in. Today, I want to share with you about three main territories that I encounter and navigate in the process of embodiment, both for myself and in supporting others on this journey. They are the soul, the lineage, and the life. Okay, so we have these three territories, and we'll talk about them one by one, starting with the soul. What is the soul? That invisible animating force. Here's how I see it. The soul is a spark of the one. The one expands, moves out, differentiates, and becomes multiple to experience itself in the multiplicity. And each extension, each individuated, differentiated extension of the one becomes the spark of each one of us. As the soul forms, it forms with patterns, recognizable patterns that inform the shape and movement and qualities of the distinct flavor of the unique individuated essence of the one. The soul patterns can be witnessed in a range of lives or incarnations, and we often will talk about that as past lives, but according to the universal principle of true simultaneity, all of those lives, all of those stories are actually happening at once. As the soul has these experiences in these different incarnations, it expresses different gifts and receives different wounds and impressions and develops tendencies that we can work with. So, in working at the level of the soul, we're typically working with these patterns, with impressions and wounds from other lives, and discovering and amplifying and bringing forward the gifts and the tendencies that we want to cultivate that are innate in the soul. Okay, now we'll move into lineage. And here we're really talking about the human experience. We're talking about the genetic heritage of our lineage and the wounds, gifts, tendencies, and stories held in the genetics of our lineage. We can also weave in a bit of Taoist embryology here that holds that the vitality of the parents at the moment of conception determines the vitality of the body of the being that's coming in. And that being, the soul, will really start coming in around day 49. So, for the first 49 days after conception, there's just a physical thing happening. Energetic vortices are developing and growing, and those are slowly turning into meridians and organ systems. And around the day 49 is when it's ready for a soul to start coming in. And usually, throughout gestation, the soul will kind of come and go. come and go until it settles in to get ready to arrive earthside. When we lean into this lineage work, we really start accessing our ancestors, right? So we can receive the support of our ancestors, we can make direct requests, and also here with the awareness that we have and the tools and support that we have the capacity to really heal the ancestral lineage of patterns and tendencies and wounds that are needing to be resolved. And we can do that work 7 generations backwards and forwards, at least 7 generations backwards and forwards into the future. That work might be especially appealing if you are parenting your own children or preparing to conceive. And that brings us to the life. And here we're really talking about epigenetics. Epigenetics is the science of genes being turned on and off by physical and emotional environment. So we receive the genetic heritage of our physical lineage, and then the experiences that we have really influence how those genes express and who we become as adults and how healthy we are. So we start with that spark of vitality delivered by the vitality of our parents at the moment of conception, and then the epigenetics sort of determine how that's going to play out. So here we are in Earth School, and part of the game of Earth School is receiving wounds. Like nobody gets away without it. You can have like the most wholesome and beautiful childhood, and you're still going to have experiences that show up as wounds and help us develop identity structures that define who we are in positive and negative ways. And later we get to come unwind those identity structures to be guided back to the wounds to heal and become whole and integrate those elements of our inner child. And, these wounds can actually happen at any time. So there's inner child work that shows up to be done. And then there's other traumas that happen in life, that happen later in life. And here we might experience some parts work where there's a part of me that's 3 and there's a part of me that's 10 and then there's a part of me that's 42, and working with all of those elements and allowing them to come into harmony and come into an integrated whole state is a part of this territory. And really diving into this work is a lot about emotional responsibility and maturity. Really growing ourselves up to be able to hold all of these parts of ourselves, to be able to integrate the wounds and the gifts of our soul through the genetic lineage that we've received, and then all of the experiences of this life. So that takes a level of maturity, and doing the work develops both emotional responsibility and maturity. So all of these factors combine to determine how we show up in the world. You could say our personality is all of these things together. And they also affect our body, health challenges, pain patterns, and how we relate to and care for the body. We can approach the process of integration from a couple of different directions. We can start right here with whatever catalyst is presenting itself now. It could be an illness or injury, a relationship or work challenge, or just a sense that something is off or something is calling you deeper into yourself. Any catalyst can lead us right to disintegrated parts to work with, heal, and integrate. This is often what happens because the discomfort will drive us to seek support of some kind. And when we heal those places, more of the soul energy can then reside in the body. Another option is to directly bring more of the soul energy into the body, which will likely highlight and bring to the surface some places that need to be healed or shifted in some way to be in alignment with the soul energy. Sometimes I think of this work as like squeezing the soul into the body, making more space and squeezing it a bit more in. So either approach will work for that, and mindful awareness is key for success. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more, join the Technologies of Consciousness class I'm offering. You can register below. And if you want some easy support, use the link below to access the Get Your Shit Together checklist, which is full of sage advice about self-care on Earth. Here's to your embodiment, and I will see you next time.